The Little Match Girl. It was the last evening of the year, New Year's Eve. Snow was falling softly, blanketing the silent streets. The wind howled through the alleyways, sharp and bitter. Shops were closed, lights were out, and no one was around. In the shadows of a narrow street, the world felt frozen, and in that cold silence, a little girl wandered alone. The little girl walked slowly through the snowy street. She wore a thin blue dress and an old brown cloak. Her shoes were gone, and her feet were wrapped in worn cloth. She carried a bundle of matches tied with string. Snowflakes fell all around her, but no one stopped to look, and no one seemed to care. People walked past her without noticing. They were in warm coats and shiny boots, rushing home. The girl stood still, holding her matches tightly. Her cheeks were red from the cold, and her hands trembled. She looked at each face with hope, but no one stopped, and no one even looked at her. The little girl found a small corner between two houses. She sat down quietly, trying to stay warm. Snow covered her shoulders, and her fingers were stiff with cold. Around her, the town was silent, filled with winter stillness. She hugged her knees, holding her matches tightly. No one knew she was there, hidden in the shadows. She held a small matchstick in her freezing hands. With trembling fingers, she struck it against the wall. A tiny flame flickered to life in the darkness. Its warm light danced in her eyes. She cupped it gently, afraid it would go out. It was the only light in a cold, lonely night. In the gentle glow of the match, a beautiful fireplace appeared before her eyes. The flames danced warmly, casting golden light across the walls. She imagined sitting by the fire, wrapped in a thick blanket, her hands finally warm again. For a few moments, she felt safe, as if the cold world outside had vanished. But just as she reached out her hands to warm them, the flame vanished, and so did the fireplace. She was once again in the dark, freezing night. The warm glow faded, replaced by biting wind. She pulled her arms close to her chest, longing for that warmth to return. But there was only cold and silence around her. Her fingers shook from the cold, but she struck another match. This time, the flame burned brighter, warming her face. She held it close, soaking in the golden light. For a moment, the night felt less cruel. The wind stopped, and the silence wrapped around her. She smiled gently, forgetting the snow for just a second. Suddenly, in the light of the second match, a beautiful table appeared before her eyes. Golden roasted goose, warm loaves of bread, steaming vegetables, and sparkling silver dishes. It looked just like the feasts she had seen in shop windows. She reached out, her hands trembling, longing to take one bite. Just one warm bite. But just as she reached out to touch the food, the match burned out, and the scene faded. The glowing feast vanished into the cold night. Darkness returned, and the street felt even lonelier. The warmth was gone, replaced by the biting wind. Her hand dropped slowly, and her eyes filled with tears again. She struck another match, and a burst of golden light filled the street. Before her stood the most beautiful Christmas tree she had ever seen. It sparkled with candles, ribbons, and glowing ornaments. At the top, a shining star twinkled brightly. Her eyes widened in wonder as she gazed up. It was just like the tree she had always dreamed of. In the glowing light of the match, she suddenly saw a gentle figure appear, her grandmother. She looked just as the little girl remembered, kind eyes, a warm smile, and soft hands. The girl cried out with joy, and without thinking, she ran into her grandmother's arms. longing to never be alone again. The little girl feared her grandmother would vanish like the visions before. Tears streamed down her cheeks. With trembling hands, she struck all the matches at once, creating a blazing light brighter than the stars. She wanted to hold on to this warmth forever. This moment, this embrace, this love. She never wanted her grandmother to go. In the glow of the blazing light, the little girl and her grandmother began to rise. They floated gently into the cold night sky, higher and higher, hand in hand. Above the rooftops, past the stars, they flew toward a place of peace and warmth, a heaven of love, where sorrow no longer existed. The next morning, as snow covered the quiet streets, people found the little girl sitting in the corner. Her face was calm, with a gentle smile frozen in the cold. No one knew the beautiful visions she had seen, or how she had flown away with her grandmother. But in her final sleep, she was warm, safe, and never alone.